TikToks that feel illegal to watch. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
New Pope will serve the Antichrist, and the Simpsons knew it all along. Something strange is about to unfold at the Vatican, and the Simpsons may have already seen it coming. In a nearly forgotten episode, Pope Francis is shown lying peacefully in a coffin, eyes closed. Shortly after, a new leader is chosen. But there's something deeply disturbing. The new figure carries a hollow stare, strange symbols embroidered into his robes, and for a brief second, a dark shadow flashes behind him and vanishes. Now, with real-world news about the Pope's passing and the search for his successor, many are alarmed. A certain man has gained notoriety, are terrified. The resemblance is uncanny. The same empty gaze, the same haunting voice, the same promise of uniting the world under a new vision. Coincidence or chilling prediction? Some claim they even spotted an all-seeing eye symbol flashing subtly during the new Pope's. Comment Pope if you want to know which episode it was and the real name of the man who could soon change everything.
Darth Vader, the new Pope.
A study actually done. They put up cameras years ago and they started recording people walking in New York City. Then they took the footage and they played it to convicted felons in prison. And they said to them, who would you pick as prey? They all picked the same people to prey on. All the same people, just by walk. There were 3 types of walk they found out. One walk was, I'm walking, I'm sloppy, I'm not paying attention, I'm just like in my own space. I have really no deliberate purpose in the way I'm moving my body. Target, easy prey. Other easy prey, my walk is small, I'm more timid, I'm kind of like not comfortable, I'm like paying attention. Easy prey. Those 2, bar none, were picked. You know who they didn't pick? The walk wasn't too sloppy big, it wasn't too small, it was right in the middle, and it's deliberate. I'm in control of my body, I'm looking around, I'm present, I own my space. That person I want nothing to do with.
My dad told me, rest in peace, to always walk with my head high, with a purpose, and stay vigilant.
On this week's episode of Not On My Timeline, Not in This Lifetime, Mandela Effect, Glitch in the Matrix. Bro, this is Martha Stewart. That Martha Stewart. This is her. For a second, I thought it was Gwyneth Paltrow, bro. She's 83 years old.
She's older than my mother.
Who remembers Martha Stewart not looking like this? Because she didn't. No, because she didn't. Dude, this was Aunt Martha right here.
Man, look at that.
Who remembers her looking like this?
Yup.
Bro, you gotta be kidding me with this shit. That's not even plastic surgery. Plastic surgery, fillers, Botox does not look like that. It doesn't do that. We know that. It makes you look like this. Like, I don't know, bro. Skin suit.
Take a look at Pamela Anderson, total change.
This is one of the most disturbing true crime cases. It's a case of Kevin Davis. Kevin is staring at the officers in the interrogation room, and something is not adding up. The officers need to figure out, is this murder or is this capital murder? So in the state of Texas, if he kills his mother and then commits acts of necrophilia, it's regular murder. If he R-words his mother and then kills her, it's capital murder, because capital murder needs aggravating circumstances. So it's actually kind of sick and twisted, because you would think that both are capital murder, but it's not. So they're trying to ask these clarifying questions. So she's dead by the time that he drags her into the bedroom to assault her corpse. Is that the story? Kevin is explaining that he attempted to strangle her, then got the hammer, and then dragged her to the bedroom, and then assaulted her. He says that his mom tried to act dead, but he knew that she was still alive because she was making noises. Quote, she was still snoring like a baby. Kevin says he decides at that point to take a knife, a steak knife from the kitchen, and stir her brains with it.
Oh my
That is the
gosh.
words he used.
Oh, that knife. Actually, I used that to stir her brains up a little, but then that didn't really work out, so I just kind of decided to delve on in, and I kind of wormed my hands into her brain
Sick.
and kind of just cut it. She was still snoring.
Okay, so she was still alive?
She was still alive.
And you went in there and you kind of grabbed those brains?
Yeah.
Like he stick the knife through the
wound in her skull to stir her brains.
And then, so when you dragged her to the living room, to the bedroom, you kept on hitting her there?
Yeah, kind of.
That's where that's when you reached in and grabbed the brain?
Yeah, I kicked at it a bit. Then I just, that was kind of silly, but then I just decided to reach in and kind of just do it.
He said that he also tasted the brain. Near the end of the interrogation, the officers asked Kevin, after the murder, after the necrophilia, quote, "So you were covered in blood?" "Oh yeah, I was covered in blood. My glasses, everything was a mess." Do you feel bad for what you've done to your mother?
In a way, yes, but I wouldn't take back what I did. It's strange, really. I did love her, in a way.
Has she been mean to me?
Oh, no, she's been the best.
Okay, so there's nothing that she did?
Oh, absolutely nothing, no.
If I was to ask you, what did she do to deserve this, what would you answer?
Absolutely nothing. I'm a cruel, disgusting person.
Could never be a police officer. How do you sleep at night?
This is one of the most disturbing interviews you will ever see.
You murdered this man.
Yes.
You tortured him.
Of course.
Are you remorseful?
Not at all.
Why?
Why would I be?
This is Angela Simpson, and in 2009, she was arrested for an absolutely disturbing crime. Angela had kidnapped Terry Neely and subjected him to 3 days of relentless torture. Angela pulled out Terry's teeth, hit nails into his head, and even forced him to watch himself be tortured by placing a mirror directly in front of him.
I took him to my house, walked him upstairs, kicked his ass, and killed him.
At the end of the 3 days, Angela took Terry's life by strangling him and disposed of his body in a trash can nearby. A few days later, when questioned by police, Angela happily admitted to everything she had done and showed no remorse whatsoever. Angela laughed and smiled all throughout her interview and even told the reporter her only regret was not being able to target more people before getting caught. Angela wasted no time in pleading guilty, and she was later sentenced to life in prison. To this day, Angela remains proud of her actions and claims if she ever got the opportunity, she would happily kill another person.
Is there a bottom line or a lesson to be learned from the story of Angela Simpson?
There's a bottom line to everything. But
what is the bottom line to this story?
Whatever people want it to be. It doesn't matter what I say.
She has that crazy eyes. I'm not siding with her, but she probably has a strong reason for doing it. Not having any remorse.
A tourist was bit by a crocodile at a zoo in the Philippines after thinking it was fake. On Monday, April 28th, 29-year-old Manila Bulletin, a tourist visiting a zoo in the Philippines, climbed over a chain-link fence into a crocodile enclosure. With his cell phone in hand, he approached what he thought was a fake crocodile. Shortly after, the man was bitten by the crocodile, and onlookers were shocked as they watched the man screaming in pain while the crocodile dragged him through the water, rolling over and twisting his leg further. The rolling of the crocodile is what scientists call a death roll, a tactic used by crocodile species to kill and tear apart their prey. Police reported to the press,
"The tourist was walking around the area. Then he saw the crocodile, which he thought was just a plastic fixture. He climbed the fence and entered the enclosure, and the crocodile attacked him."
The man was eventually saved by a zookeeper who entered the enclosure and bopped the crocodile over the head with a piece of concrete, upon which the crocodile opened its mouth. Reports from the press say the zookeeper had also attempted to stop the man from entering the enclosure in the first place. The police staff sergeant responding to the case said,
"This kind of behavior is very dangerous. Nobody should ever enter an animal's enclosure at the zoo. He put other people's lives at risk, and he is very lucky to have survived."
Why would a fake crocodile be fenced in a zoo?
Nancy me está lastimando pellizcando mi oreja. No me pellizques con tus uñas.
On January 8, 2024, 28-year-old Tonancy Beltran started live streaming from inside a parked car in San Rafael, California. In the driver's seat was her mother, 55-year-old Olivia Beltran, seatbelt on, trying to stay calm. But this wasn't a casual rant. It was the beginning of a complete emotional breakdown captured live. In the video, Tonancy suddenly lunges forward, grabbing her mother by the hair, yanking her head back. Her mother flinches and cries out, "Tonancy, you're hurting me, you're hurting my ear." And guys, what follows is one of the most disturbing mother-daughter exchanges ever caught on camera. They begin arguing about a man named Benji Rodriguez. Tonancy claims Benji abused her and her sister when they were children, and now she blames her mother for all of it. In the live stream, Olivia pleads with her, "If I had known what Benji was doing, I would have left him. I believed you. I'm so sorry. I don't want you to suffer anymore. Please let it go." but Tonantzin can't, because she hasn't just been reliving the past, she's been trying to hunt it down. She had been connecting online with predators who reminded her of Benji. She messaged them, tracked them. Some sources say she was trying to meet up and kill them. Her mom begs her to stop, block them, forgive them, live your life. I don't want you to end up in jail. But Tonantzin wasn't just emotionally shattered. She was slipping into something darker. Later that evening, around 5 p.m., police started getting calls, some from neighbors, others from viewers who had seen the live stream. When officers arrive at the Beltran home, they see a terrifying sight. Tonantzin is on the balcony, covered in blood, still holding the knife. Inside on the living room floor, Olivia is unresponsive. She had been stabbed multiple times in the chest. Paramedics rush her to the hospital, but she doesn't make it. Tonantzin Beltran is arrested at the scene. She pleads not guilty by reason of insanity. If the court rules she was legally insane, she won't go to prison. She'll be committed to a state mental health facility instead. If you guys want to stay updated on this case, then like and follow. Brah.
It gave me goosebumps.
You drink matcha tea instead of coffee for 2 weeks. Here's what will happen to your body, and you'll be surprised.
Matcha tea will give you an energy boost, but without the side effect of coffee, like energy crashes of sudden fatigue. Plus, matcha tea reduces cavities and helps prevent yellow teeth, unlike coffee. After 3 days, you feel less stressed. While coffee can make you jittery or irritable, matcha calms your mind and reduces anxiety thanks to its soothing properties. After 7 days, eliminate toxins, reduce bloating, and improve digestion. Unlike sugary or energy drinks, matcha cleanses your body instead of clogging it up. After 10 days, your metabolism will get a boost and you will burn more calories, even at rest. Matcha also regulated blood sugar levels, unlike sugary coffee drinks loaded with milk and sugar, which can cause cravings and blood sugar spikes. After 2 weeks, your skin will look brighter and more radiant. While coffee and other drinks can dehydrate your skin, matcha is rich in antioxidants and promote a smooth, radiant complexion.
I'm sold. I'll try it.
A former Bush official came out saying that they built an underground city secretly for $21 trillion. Okay. Yeah, her name is Catherine Austin Fitts. Now, she says that it's not just your regular tunnel with a bunch of concrete and it's just kind of plain Jane. No, she said this is a luxury city built under the United States. Okay. She said that these cities even go out under the ocean.
No way.
She said that this was built specifically for the rich in case there was an extinction event for humankind. Which leads us to believe that they know something that we don't. She stated that the transportation down there is way more advanced than the transportation we have up here. Oh boy. She said that it has everything we have up here, but it's way nicer, and they even have schools, hospitals, and jails. Oh boy.
Why hasn't any of the thousands of workers who built this talking about it?
How 80s kids lived without today's technology. We didn't need smartphones. Clear phones were way cooler. No smartwatches either, and we were just fine. This was our music player and our version of a playlist. This was Google back then, and it gave us headaches. No Xbox or PlayStation, totally fine. Before YouTube, this kept us entertained for hours. With this setup, you basically had your own movie theater. Remember binge watching like crazy? At school, we invented the original instant messaging, passing notes in class. This was our social network, built on real-life friendships. This was our iPad, and it never gave us screen fatigue. Our parents' one and only way to track us down. No online shopping. We actually had fun at the mall. No social media birthday posts. Birthday parties happened at home. Our generation's first emoji, and you had to draw it yourself. We didn't have high-tech gadgets, but we had a lot of happiness, right?
Let's go back. Who's with me? Roman Empire transformed into religion called Roman Catholic Church.
Get this. Scientists in Russia have confirmed that they now know what happens to you after you die. I'm not talking about your body, that's just fucking worm food, we all know that. I mean, your spirit, if you like, your consciousness. I read it on the Russian version of Google last night called Yandex. I don't know why this is not all over fucking media right now. I've not slept a wink. So, if you don't know, Russia's largest tech company, Vladtech, have spent the last 10 years creating an interface to your brain that somehow embeds a code into every atom of you. So when you die, they can then locate that code within you, and it's like an Apple AirTag but on a more expensive, grander level. So they can basically see where your electricity, spirit and memories go to, and they call it a SIC code, soul identity code or something like that. And what they just discovered was fucking mind-blowing. So the first volunteer who passed away, they followed his code but lost it because it was travelling faster than anything they can record. An hour later, when the computers caught up and refreshed, if you like, the SIC code settled in another galaxy called, oh, I've written it down somewhere, Jade's GS-Z140, which is over 1 billion light years away. It's one of the furthest galaxies that we know of. This is life-changing for us all, of human beings. I cannot believe no one's talking about this. And apparently the scientists don't know why it stopped there. Do we all go there? You know, what's it doing there? It's... I'm speechless.
No way Russia's biggest company is called Vladtech. Who could have guessed it?
11 things people learn too late in life. 1. The less you say, the more your words will matter.
Ooh.
2. Don't take everything personally. Not everyone thinks about you as much as you do. 3. When you focus on problems, you'll have more problems.
Oh.
When you focus on possibilities, you'll have more opportunities.
Wow.
4. No matter how much it hurts now, someday you will look back and realize your struggle changed your life for the better.
Oof.
5. You meet people for a reason. Either you need them to change your life, or you're the one that will change theirs.
Wow.
6. Never be afraid to try something new. Life gets boring when you stay within the limits of what you already know. 7. You will never truly know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. 8. Once you begin to take note of the things you are grateful for, you begin to lose sight of the things that you lack. 9. If you do not have control over your mouth, you do not have control over your future.
Oh.
10. Life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. 11. The only person you have to face in the morning is yourself. Be unbeatable.
Every slide hurts me.
The best food to eat if you want a slim stomach is not turmeric, it's not ginger, and it's definitely not blueberries. Just 1 teaspoon of this food reduces gut inflammation 60% more than turmeric and ginger combined. It has been used for thousands of years in Asia,
What is it?
but we never hear about it in the United Kingdom. This food will also restore blood flow, strengthen the heart, clear out veins, improve circulation in the legs and feet, boost energy, relieve pain and cramps, lower the risk of heart disease, and even improve sleep quality. Just imagine the transformation in your health if you took it daily. This ancient remedy is called Shilajit. I've been recommending it for years to the people who come to me who are exhausted, in pain, and frustrated. 3 weeks later, they always come back in tears, thanking me because they feel like a new person. Their faces have changed. They're much happier, and they look much better.
Yeah, I want to start taking Shilajit because it's cheap here. I don't know over there in the United States.
Wow, so your brain doesn't really know the difference between, say that again?
Between something that happened in real life or something that you strongly visualize.
So you could create enough of a visualization for yourself if you really were to powerfully start to focus on it and do that and build that ability to visualize something that your brain at one point would have to think it's so true that the world would meet you and put it into your life.
I became obsessed with the power of the mind, meditation, visualization, and just realizing how powerful
our minds actually are, like how we really do paint our world with our thoughts and our level of self-belief.
I've always visualized better. I always visualized good things. I always visualized victory, success, abundance. I visualized it all and it's all happening.
You can create your life. You can manifest your life into something amazing that you want to do on this beautiful Monday. And I know what I want to do, and I'm doing it, and we are as well.
It's called delusion until it's done.
Now, we don't know what Zelensky said to Trump when they pulled up a couple chairs and spoke at the Pope's funeral. But one, this picture's pretty iconic. And two, Trump actually posted after he left Italy questioning whether Putin even wants to stop the war. He said in a post there was no reason for Putin to be shooting missiles into civilian areas over the weekend, and it's made him think whether Putin actually wants to stop the war and if he's just tapping him along. And if so, he might have to deal with Putin differently. And what's crazy is that this comes right after Trump's envoy went to Russia on Friday, and they said that they were very close to a deal, and that all that's needed now is for the two sides to meet at a very high level to finish it off. But of course, as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
You know, the war is getting real close to a major global war. Same atmosphere as before the First and Second World Wars.
Here's how you can get your house blurred on Apple Maps. They do a great job at blurring your entire property and not just the front of the house like other services do. Check this out. First, you're going to want to open up your email and then use the email below. I know that's a bit old school, but that's the only thing we have to work with. Send them your address, your name, and the reason why you want it blurred, like privacy reasons or anything you can come up with. Wait a couple days and you'll see the results. Stay safe.
This will mess up your DoorDash.
Nope, this is not fake and it's not good, as a deadly creature has already spread through every part of the world, and even just coming near it, your life could be over. People were terrified after scientists discovered a deadly poisonous giant creature that has now been found in every body of water coming to the surface, and they're being found longer than the length of half a football field, with researchers saying their growth has no limits and they're already ending lives. The creature is made out of many organisms all banding together with all horrifying jobs, including ones that can sting you with toxic chemicals, resulting in the death of its victims. And for those even just coming near it, can still face their end, as the creatures can fire their stingers at you with its ability to chase you, since their stingers are alive. And if you survive, you'll be found with extreme symptoms like swelling, difficulty breathing, and intense pain. Known as Siphonophore, it has its ability to wrap its body around any victim like a net.
Well, look at that.
And it's best to avoid them with your life.
Hey, if you watch Octonauts, you had a great childhood.
Okay, breaking news, it is over. Or at least, it's paused, because the US and China have finally reached a deal and both have agreed to lower tariffs by 114%, and the market's already going crazy. That means that the US tariffs on Chinese goods were reduced from a peak of 145% down to 30% for a 90-day period, and Chinese tariffs on America have been lowered from 125% to only 10% for the same period. Both take effect immediately, and stock markets in both countries have seen a boost, and traders are calling this a Geneva breakthrough because it was agreed in Switzerland. But what do you guys think? Is this good news? Does this make you feel like all of that panic was for nothing? Let me know.
This 100% was the whole plan. Trump is a businessman. This is crazy, folks.
我擦干净了，擦的跟你这身份证上一样，人脸识别过不去了。画他妈这样，找麻烦。
Why you have to record it?
你出个门，画他妈大浓妆。
I feel bad for her. The security is clearly making fun of her. That's so mean.
They said her teeth were red because of cola nut. That was the story everyone told themselves. Mama Ojili was old, maybe too old, but no one dared to ask her real age. She smiled constantly, wide and bright, with gums so red they almost glowed. She lived alone in a hut just past the last compound. She never missed market days. She'd sit by the palm oil stall chewing something. Always chewing, always smiling. Kids liked her. She gave sweets, told riddles, and laughed at everything. Her voice was thick and sweet, like honey left in the sun. People said she had the charm of a mother and the heart of an angel. But no one ever saw her eat, only chew. Then one market day, a little boy, Chica, followed her home. He wasn't trying to spy. He just wanted to know what kind of cola nut could make your teeth so red. He crept to her window. It was dark inside, but he saw her crouched low on the floor, rocking gently, chewing. Something slick dangled from her fingers, tangled like ropes. At first, Chica thought it was thread. Then he saw the color, brown, black, red, dried umbilical cords, knotted together, soaked in palm oil. She slurped them slowly, like noodles. Each bite let out a wet snap, and she chuckled to herself like it was the best thing she'd ever tasted. Chica gasped. She froze, turned her head, slow like smoke, and smiled. That smile stretched across her whole face. Too wide, far too many teeth. Chica ran, didn't stop, didn't sleep that night. By morning, he couldn't speak, not a word, not even a scream. His mouth was clamped shut, lips trembling, eyes wide, and red stains ran down his chin. When they found him, he was clutching something in his fist, a single chewed piece of cola nut, or maybe something else. And Mama Ojili? She was already back in the market, laughing, smiling, chewing.
I think she chewed betel nut.
Okay, how is this not getting talked about more? Scientists at UCLA have basically claimed to have cured baldness. And they've been working on this lab-made molecule called PP405, which they've just finished getting the results back after the first week of testing on patients. And the results are actually insane. After they applied this topical cream for 1 week to their patients, they found a 70% activity increase in dormant hair follicles, as well as a 300% increase in stem cell activity. These scientists found a protein in your hair follicles which causes them to go to sleep and stay asleep as you get older, and PP405 basically wakes those hair follicles back up. But the most important thing is that they found no major side effects in any of their trials, which is where a lot of big companies previously have gotten to the stage and failed. And the research is so legit that even Google wanted to be a part of it and invested millions of dollars in this business last year. Now, the next phase of this company is to publish their 60-day findings, but they think the real results are going to come from 6 to 12 months. And if all goes well, they expect to get FDA approval to put this on the shelves by 2030.
Wow. What do these words mean? Okay, so TS, I'm pretty sure that means this shit. Yeah, okay, that was pretty easy. ICL, I'm pretty sure that means I can't lie. Yeah, okay. PMO, this means either piss me off or put me on, right? Okay, piss me off. SYBAU, I see this one a lot on TikTok and I have no idea what that means. Oh, okay.
Oh.
That makes a lot more sense now. I never knew what that meant.
Stay young, beautiful, and unique.
Why did Roseanne say this about humans?
Not everybody here on this planet has a soul. In fact, a lot of them are just projections of program, and that's all they care about is regurgitating the program that they have been created by artificial intelligence to spout, because they don't have any real intelligence. And how you tell the difference is a human being has the ability to change, and a messenger cannot change. A messenger has a different soul than a human being. The messengers are here, program artificial intelligence. The messengers are here to tempt and sway people who have souls. And they do it quite effectively. But when you go back to roots, the way you tell if you're a human being or just a messenger, a co-opted bot of artificial intelligence, is you can change. A human being has the ability to change its mind.
You know, she's been in the industry. She knows a lot more than she can say.
Don't go anywhere because we still have fire clips after fire clips back to back.
People like McDonald's, I'm going, ah. In fact, they use downer cows. I don't know if you know what a downer cow. I used to work on farms in New Zealand. You know, my first business was, the modern farm system is so bad for animals, okay? That milk cow specifically, they push them so hard to produce milk, the cow just basically starts, it's almost like fainting. They can't stand up. Their bottom legs come out from under them. And you call them downer cows. So eventually you have to, they with a bolt. And McDonald's, you're getting that downer cow.
This couldn't be further from the truth.
And people are saying once the prisoners find out what he did and how he disrespected the country, they might try to keep him in jail.
Yeah, fam.
Can I shove this up your butt?
Oh, no.
Madam, I'm gonna rob you if you keep walking away. I want to give you money. No, okay. Okay, because you got a COVID mask, you liberal. Go get your vaccine.
The Philippines, did you see it, Vitali?
Yeah.
The president of the Philippines
made a whole video.
A reaction
video.
He was in the nice parts of the Philippines. And like the Manilas, you know what I mean? Imagine he did that in the hood parts, like the real ghettos. Like,
I mean, regardless, he's in jail and prison right now.
Like, Speed, that's how you do it. You go to the country and you show the culture. You don't mess with the culture, fam. I seen this guy taking a police guard's hat and running away. Like,
I know.
Fam, you're 40 years old. Why are you still doing this?
Yeah.
For clicks, bro? What?
It's kind of crazy.
I think he's copying a GTA 5. Wow.
Science just caught up with the Bible again. The 10 plagues of Egypt that were told in Exodus were real. Archaeologists just found this, and it is even more confirmation that it happened. It says here that they found a 3,000-year-old Egyptian scroll that talks about the plagues. This is apart from the Bible. This is an Egyptian scroll that shows a record of what happened. And it says here that it lines up with almost the exact same of the events that was recorded in Exodus. And on top of that, physical evidence from the same period shows abandoned cities, mass graves, and signs of national collapse in Egypt. These discoveries are forcing historians to reconsider what many once called myth. The Bible's account of the plagues is now backed by records from Egypt. The Bible isn't just a book of stories, it's a record of history that science is still catching up to. Follow and subscribe for more, and make sure to watch the video pinned below or in the bio to make sure you're going to heaven.
Blessed are those who believe without signs.
Selena Gomez almost went down. Yo, did you see it? There's nothing to see. All she did was fall down. Should I play it in slow motion? Pay attention. Pay close attention to her leg. Look, guys, in slow motion. How did her leg get like that?
I think her heel just broke, man.
It went flat on the floor. It's not a game.
I don't know.
Don't worry about it, guys. She's good. If you know, you know. There's nothing to know. She fell and she got back up. That's it. Why did her leg get like that, though? That's the real question. Must have been her heels, that's all. They picked her up mighty quick, too. I mean, of course, they got to make sure that she's okay. This video is for entertainment purposes only. This happened a while back, but she's good. She got back up, and she's been good ever since. It's not a game. I don't know, guys. Comment below. Let me know what you think. I'm out of here.
What do you think happened? Let me know in the comment.
Posted another one. It's another update. And this time they're trafficking the mermaids to B613. I kid you not. So she goes back into the story about how her fisherman friend or whoever it is, that they went back out to the ocean after the dinner party that they sold the last mermaid to. And this time, you know, they have all this special equipment. This is how they're finding the mermaids. And they find another mermaid. But this one, she's a fighter. She is not letting them have her. So basically, as they put her in the tank, her fingertips get chopped up, so damaged goods, nobody wants her. But apparently there's a secret government organization out in the middle of the ocean, B613, if you know, you know. And basically they said they'll take her. So when they show up to drop off the trafficked mermaid at the research facility, he said that there is a bunch of like creatures that he has never seen before. So that's where we're at in the story. I'm going to tag the creator because I am deep into this. I'm going to be dreaming about mermaids tonight. I swear to God.
It is the new Disney movie.
In 1845, in the town of Lennep, Germany, Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen was born. From an early age, Röntgen showed an aptitude for understanding how things work. Röntgen pursued his studies in mechanical engineering and physics. Despite being expelled from a technical school, Röntgen didn't give up and continued his education elsewhere. His dedication paid off as he became a professor of physics. In 1895, while experimenting with cathode rays, Röntgen noticed something extraordinary, a new type of invisible ray that could pass through objects. He placed his wife's hand between the rays and a photographic plate, capturing the first ever X-ray image of human bones. This groundbreaking discovery marked the birth of X-rays. Doctors quickly adopted X-rays, saving countless lives by allowing them to see inside the body without surgery. Röntgen refused to patent his discovery, believing it should benefit all of humanity. In 1901, Röntgen became the first recipient of the Nobel Prize in Physics for his groundbreaking work. Today, X-ray technology is used not only in medicine, but also in engineering, archaeology, and security, proving Röntgen's discovery timeless.
Awesome.
So, y'all saw what was floating over the ocean in Sydney, Australia this weekend, right? The black, terrifying mass that was just floating over the ocean.
Phantom.
No? Well, but yeah, in Australia this weekend, a dark, black, ominous, terrifying mass-like cloud was just seen and videoed floating over the ocean. Now, I did a little bit of research because obviously scientists are going to say that it's of natural causes and it's something called a Scud cloud, but I'm going to tell you what I believe. I believe it's a portal opening, and I believe it's something from another dimension breaking through. Now, you don't have to believe what I'm saying. You make up your own mind when you see the video, but the video looks very similar to other things that I've seen when I've been going down rabbit holes about portals opening. But I'm not here to tell you to believe one thing or the other. You make up your mind. That's not my call. However, also in Australia, they just confirmed that they're building the world's first black box to record the demise and destruction of the Earth. So, over the weekend, coming out of Australia, we have this black-like cloud just floating over the ocean, you'll see, and now Australia is creating the world's black box that's going to record our destruction. Now, remember, anything we talk about is for education, conversation, learning, and entertainment purposes only, so take what you will, leave what you don't want. That's not for me to decide your life. Now, watch the video and let me know in our conversations today what you think it is, because I know what I think it is.
Probably locust or bugs of some kind. What do you think?
Victor Schauberger's work, and he talked about how everything needs to spiral, because that's just like what you mentioned. That's what's naturally going on. The Earth is constantly spiraling, and everything around it is spiraling too. And so I stumbled upon electroculture, studying George Lakhovsky, Victor Schauberger, and Justin Christo-Flow. And I was researching all of their work and going, this is remarkable. I can take a copper antenna and I can pop it into my soil and I can have big plants. Like, is this the secret to the big pumpkins that we've seen so many times? I decided, you know what? I'm in Scottsdale at that time. I'm right on the main street. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to try this. So I'm going to take a piece of wood, wrap it with copper, stick it into my moringa planter, and kind of see what happens. And I had 14 to 22 inch moringa pods. The average moringa pod is like 6 inches. So I'm getting 2 to 3 times, and I'm on a balcony. It's with tap water. It's, you know, there's nothing. I did as generic as possible. And so I started to go into Victor Schauberger's work after this, because I'm like, okay, nobody knows about this. 1940s, I find out Victor Schauberger, what he did was he presented this information to the Bulgarian government at the time. And he said, if you guys use copper tools, you'll yield more food.
What's a conspiracy theory you 100% know is true?
Root canals. There's this YouTube video, which before was a documentary on Netflix before it got pulled after 2 weeks, known as The Root Cause. The Root Cause discusses the big psyop by dental industry and by big pharma to fuck people's health up through root canals. You can't even watch it in the United States. You have to turn on a VPN because it's banned by the American Dental Association, which is in bed with big pharma. And I can say that because dentists can't say it because they'll lose their license, but I can say it because I don't have a license. I had a root canal recently removed, and once they did the DNA biopsy on the tooth, they found 20 different types of parasites growing and living inside of my jaw. So stay away from fluoride, and now stay away from root canals.
Yep, I don't use fluoride anymore.
You are uneducated.
Yeah, I'm stupid. Education. Oh, let me tell you something about education. 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 Don't use it
Don't use education. One thing about education, they give you two different versions of education because they tell you 1 times 1 is 1, but then they tell you how is it 1 when time's supposed to multiply and 1 can't multiply with 1. The folks stop playing with me. It drives me crazy. I'm confused. 1 times 1 ain't 1. I'm gonna tell you why. What he forgot is they created 0. 0 just don't exist. That's all. When they made the number 0, 0 never exists. The real numbers go 1 to 9. I was like, mama, 10, 11, 12, 13, all the numbers is fake. Oh, he don't know that. I was like, mama, see, I get different downloads. I was like, mama, 0 is a fake number. The real numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, repeat. I was like, oh, there were a lot of people on that.
I'm too woke for this universe.
I don't agree with what Donald Trump did here, but this man just cooked this show.
Him tweeting out an AI-created image and the White House official account of him posing as the Pope is disrespectful, it is frankly disgusting, and it is outrageous. And so all of those devout Catholics, I think you need to ask yourself some questions, and I think you need to ask the White House and Donald Trump some questions, because Trump, Mr. President, it's His Holiness, the Pope, not his oiliness, the dope.
And you're a sanctimonious joke. But look, the bigger picture is right here in my pocket, and I will pull it out. This is Rihanna dressed as a Pope. Olympics 2024, mocking Jesus Christ's last meal. Over here, camera, over here. Don't run, because Trump only posted a meme. But these are actual photos. And I don't see that same energy of yours, Anna, when it comes to Hollywood actually mocking God. This is Madonna on a cross as Jesus Christ.
We'll be right back.
Good job, buddy. Hey, man.
So the Pentagon is bracing for a return of the Anunnaki. Yeah, the Anunnaki. Now, the only thing that makes sense to me as to why they will be waiting on the return of the Anunnaki is if they have had some type of contact with these beings. And if y'all have noticed that the Anunnaki, the lore behind the Anunnaki has gotten increasingly, like there's been way more talk about them lately. And with all the things going on in the sky, all the talks about aliens, all of the weird things going on in the atmosphere, people seeing weird things like with the thing in Israel, and remember that the mall in Miami. And so they have been conditioning us to get ready for these Anunnaki to return as well. Now, those of you who have eyes to see and ears to hear, we know that whatever beings they are, whether you want to call them aliens, Anunnaki, demons, the fallen angels, the Nephilim spirits, the Nephilim itself, Satan and his army, whatever you want to call them, we know that it all is demonic. That's one thing that we know. Those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, do not fall into this whole, oh, these Anunnaki gods. And you know there's going to be some people who comment on this video and say, oh my gosh, they're so real, they're gods, they're this, they're that. And they're going to paint these beings in a good light. They're going to paint these beings in a positive light. Do not fall for the deception. Remember, when and if these things appear, it will not be for the benefit of the world. It will be for the benefit of Satan, the ruler of this world, the lowercase g, God of this world. Do not be deceived. Remember, not be deceived is mentioned several times over and over again because as it pertains to the last days, there will be deception running rampant. Do not be deceived by this. Remember, Jesus is on the throne. It's all about God, and they're going to try to do everything to deceive you into believing that these beings are positive or good beings. They're not. Okay? And if I had to tell you, if I had to take a guess, it's either A, the fallen angels who have disguised themselves, or B, it is the offspring of the fallen angels and the women that created these beings, or even C, remember they were kind of manipulating humanity and manipulating life as we know it. So it could be a creature mixed with a human, mixed with another thing, whatever the case may be, it is all demonic. Do not play into the lore. Remember that Jesus is still on the throne and he is Lord and he is returned.
Jesus is coming back, not aliens.
You know, Kevin Hart, I used to sell you pills. If you watching this shit, we used to have fun. I used to drop you off in front of Diddy house. Don't act funny now that is on. I'm on this motherfucker. We need a movie, nigga.
Oh,
used to be in the motherfucking limo, thizzing hard as a mother. Looking stupid. Don't act like you don't know me now. I'm on this shit. With me, Cap. And Scissor on me. I used to go out with Scissor before I went to prison. Before I went to the juvenile hall, nigga.
Shut the f up.
Yeah,
What age were you?
Shit, I was like 15.
You were 15 dating
When we used to
Scissor.
go to the same
And she was a
school,
regular
shit.
chick, obviously.
Regular
at
chick,
15.
always had ass, though.
What?
Yeah, you feel me?
Who this guy? Look exactly like him.
This teacher was just sentenced to 30 years in prison after she was found guilty for what she did to her students.
They ripped away their childhood. Instead of following the path of what a teacher should be, I let my selfishness override the boy's best interests.
Now, the things that she was found guilty of doing to this 11 and 12-year-old boy are absolutely disgusting, but the way she did it is even worse. She was named a Teacher of the Year in 2023 in California, and she used that power to get close to these students. She would buy them food, candy, do their homework for them after school, and spent an entire year getting very close to them. Their parents would not even allow them to have social media, but she was able to get around that by hosting a private after-school tutoring session, which the kid's parents didn't even know about. They thought he was at basketball practice. And because he wasn't allowed to have social media, she actually used one of the school's chat apps that are on all the students' tablets so she could still talk to the student. She's going to prison for the next 30 years of her life.
Trump is pulling away millions from illegal immigrants, and he's building something no one else dared to build. You need to see this. Trump just signed an executive order to launch the National Center for Warrior Independence in Los Angeles, the largest homeless veteran housing project in U.S. history. Not just beds, not shelters, but an entire system built for recovery, dignity, and power. And where's the money coming from? Well, the money that was used to house illegal immigrants in these hotels is now being used for this project. Trump said America first, and that means veterans first. And you know what? Damn right. LA is ground zero for homeless veterans. LA has 3,000 plus veterans living on the street. That's 1 in 10 of all homeless veterans in this country. This isn't charity, it's structure, treatment, job support, and a real pathway off of the street. Trump's plan restores dignity, and he demands results by 2028. So let's get real. You can't say you support the troops and fund everybody else but them. Trump's not just talking, he's taking action. What are the Democrats doing? We finally have a president that puts veterans first. If you think America's heroes deserve more than tense and broken promises, prove it. Comment veterans first if you agree.
Hey, I'm not even an American, but great job, President Trump. America first.
Now, before you start to kill those little wiggly worms, keep in mind you need a binder. Now, you can kill the parasites, and I'm going to tell you how, but the binder is just as important. Okay, a binder acts like a magnet and pulls toxins out of the body and discards them. And you need that because those little wigglies are filled with toxins and heavy metals. And you don't want that circulating through your bloodstream, okay, because it's going to cause more problems. So make sure to get a binder. Start off with a shot glass full. That's more realistic. A little shot glass, fill it up to the brim. Take one as, you know, in the rising when you wake up, in the afternoon, and before you go to bed. Do this for the first 3 or 4 days, and then move on to regular 8 ounce glass. Do an 8 ounce glass twice a day after that 3 to 4 days. The 3 to 4 days, that's just to ease on into it. Now, if you can do the full glass, kudos to you. Go ahead and do that. That'll be better, actually. It's not going to taste good at first. At first, it will be disgusting, especially if you're a heavy sweets eater. You won't like it at all. But that's because the signals that the parasites are sending, they're making your taste buds reject the tea. However, the more those parasites die, the less disgusting the tea will taste. It used to be hella disgusting. Now, I can drink it with ease. And that's because most of those suckers are gone, dead. Cheers. As the parasites start to die, they reproduce at an exponential rate.
Ooh.
They drop all the eggs they're
Ooh.
carrying in order to preserve their species. So you want to do a 90-day cycle. You want to take this detox for 90 days. That's 3 months, okay? Minimum. And if you stop before the 90 days, they become stronger. Their defenses are up. They're running, they're hiding, they're hiding behind anything that they possibly can. They're going and burrowing into different organs. So make sure you stick with the 90 days. Make sure don't start it until you're ready, okay? All right, you don't have to rush to start it. Start it when you're ready, when you know that you can keep it up for the 90 days. And like I said, at first it's gonna be a little rough, but it'll get better.
What is a binder?
When Kanye says, they continue to remind us and profit of our pain. So I just wanted to remind them of their pain. Wow. The allegations is that there's a lot of very powerful Jewish businessmen that own the record labels. If you think about the music that's being out there, especially in the Black community, right? What does it consist of? What are the lyrics about? Murdering, money, drugs, freaking, disparaging and undermining women. So does he have a point?
Record labels come to you and tell you, this is the song that we need right now, and you need to make it. You have no control, so they're telling you what to rap about, telling you what's hitting right now.
They're your boss.
Boss is a strong word. I would say master.
You're calling them modern age slaves.
Are they free? I don't think so. If you want to poison people, you're not going to have somebody who's a different race. The people aren't going to listen. So you bring in somebody who I can relate to that guy, right? And then they poison the minds of everybody. And now everyone has this limited belief that they're oppressed, that it's difficult to live in this country like that. They're not told they could do whatever they want. Clarence Thomas, first Black Supreme Court justice, be like that guy. Be like Dr. Ben Carson, a brain surgeon. No, they don't talk about these guys because they don't want little Black children to grow up and be.
Michael Jackson was talking about this. No one could hear him.
One of the biggest theories we talked about, the Malaysian Airlines. Yeah. Did you see that? What happened with that? What happened? So news came out and it shows on satellite cameras, on thermal cameras, where the plane actually went.
Wait, is it the one with the...
Yeah. The 3 orbs.
Yeah.
Going around.
It's like spinning around.
Yeah, so this plane was like notorious for like just disappearing randomly. And so one person put it on the internet and 3 little like UFO looking things started circling it. And then there was a flash and the plane was gone.
Yeah. Before continuing, I wanted to warn you guys. Their phones were being spied on. Click on this icon, then on more. If you see it, delete it immediately.
And I was like, okay, this is low-key, like, I have to do more research still because this is like BS, right? And then another angle with thermal camera came out, same shit.
It's the same
3
thing.
orbs, flash, gone.
Yeah, so
like, yo.
It deadass might be just aliens or
Yes,
whatever
bro.
spaceships that, I don't know, teleported it.
Holy smoke.
What if the Malaysia Airlines came back and everyone inside the plane is like, don't know what happened?
This one peptide could literally reverse your skin's age, and it's looking like it's not hype. GHK-CU, this copper peptide is being dubbed the Fountain of Youth, going in and signaling like 4,000 genes to elicit its effect. So let's break down what's actually happening and see if this thing's a gold mine, make us all look young again. So first thing is natural repair signaling. So GHK will go in, bind to copper in the body and basically trigger this cascade that says, let's go in and let's repair. So that's first thing first. 2 is the gene activation. We're talking like 4,000 or so genes that are activated, which affect, direct things like activating things that modulate what's happening with your skin regeneration, antioxidants, anti-inflammatory pathways, and even stem cell. So that's a lot of genes being affected by one little peptide here. So it boosts collagen and elastin via fibroblasts. So the thing to take away from this one is you're talking about thicker skin and tighter skin. Okay, I mean, we're kind of getting there, right? So inflammation and antioxidant play here. This is taking care of free radicals. If we're taking care of free radicals, again, anytime we're knocking those things down, we're knocking inflammation down, we're putting a good antioxidant in the body, you're preserving youth. This one was interesting, how it affects DHT. So DHT actually affects your hair loss. None of that going on yet. So by bringing those levels down, you potentially encourage the follicles to continue to grow hair. So it could potentially have an effect in hair loss. Skin barrier and wound healing. So there's even topical versions of this stuff now. So after like microneedling or some other procedure that's being done to, again, help rejuvenate the skin, this can be applied and have some really positive effects there as well. So again, these peptides, man, they just seem wild, like miracles, right? If I were going to sum these up, I'd say this is like resetting your programming to tell your cells to act young again, would be how I would sum up GHK-CU. Again, do your own research, figure out what makes sense for you. Hopefully that helps break down why this thing's so popular and why it's part of what you're seeing dubbed as the glow stack out there for youthful everything at this point. So be well, stay healthy. We're going to keep the action coming. Follow along. And I'd love to hear if you're on any stacks or doing anything. Share it with us.
Thank you.
So there was this group of women doing a study of the book of Malachi in the Old Testament. And they came upon the 3rd verse in chapter 3, and it puzzled them. It said, "He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver." And they wondered what this statement meant about the character and nature of God. So one of the women offered to investigate the process of refining silver and then get back to them at their next Bible study. So that week, the woman called up a silversmith and was like, "Hey, can I come watch you while you work?"
Ooh.
And she didn't mention anything about why she wanted to do this other than her curiosity about the process of refining silver. So he agreed, and she went. And as she watched him, he held a piece of silver over the fire and let it heat up. He explained that in refining silver, one needed to hold the piece in the middle of the fire, where the flames were the hottest, as to burn all the impurities away. The woman thought about God holding us in such a hot spot. Then she thought again about the verse. He sits as a refiner and purifier of silver. So she asked the silversmith if it was true, if he had to sit there in front of the fire the entire time that the silver was being refined. He said yes, and he went on to explain that not only did he have to sit there, but he had to keep a very close eye on it, because if it was left a moment too long, then it would be damaged. The woman was silent for a moment, and then she asked, "How do you know when the silver is fully refined?" And he smiled and said, "That's easy. When I see my image."
Whoa! This is good. So God won't stop until the day he sees his image in me or you.
What you are seeing here is another similarity between the ancient trees of our past and some of the trees today. You see, when the root system hits the underground water level and you cut down the tree, it starts pouring out water like a waterfall, much like you see coming out the tops and the sides of these massive ancient trees. And perhaps that's what caused the Great Flood. Once these massive trees were cut down, could you imagine all of the water gushing out all across this realm, all at once? It wouldn't take that long to flood this world at all. And what we see now are just the remains. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
All right, my question is, who cut these trees?
What if Hotel California wasn't just about a fancy resort and a weird dream? What if it was a coded warning about Hollywood? The kind of Hollywood that hands you champagne with one hand and chains with the other. Because in 1970, the Eagles may have dropped the most haunting soft rock banger of all time and hit it so deep in metaphor. It played on every turntable without raising a single eyebrow. So let's break it down. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, you have your narrator that's tired. He's drifting. He's probably a little high. Then he sees it. A shimmering light. That's the bait. Hollywood. The lifestyle. The dream that looks like heaven. But it smells suspicious. This could be heaven or this could be hell. Spoiler alert. It's hell. Then she appears. Her mind is Tiffany twisted. She got the Mercedes-Benz. Now, Henley says she is not a real person. She's a symbol. She's Los Angeles in heels. Vanity in human form. She's not there for love. She's there to show him around. Now, fans say she's more than just being symbolic. She's a handler, a beautiful distraction while the door locks behind you. She's not just a character. She's the moment the song shifts from curiosity to entrapment. Some dance to remember, some dance to forget. Poetic, right? Until you realize that no one's enjoying this dance. Now, Henley hinted this is about escapism. Some people clinging to good times, others numbing their regret. But conspiracy theorists, they say it's a metaphor for mind control. Dance to remember equals the ones waking up. Dance to forget equals the ones still trapped in the programming. Either way, this is no party. It's a loop. It's a trance. A room full of people pretending this isn't hell with a disco ball. So I called up the captain. Please bring me my wine. He said, we haven't had that spirit here since 1969. Now, first off, yes, we know wine is not a spirit. And yes, Don Henley doesn't give a shit. He said he's heard that critique a million times, to which he responds, you missed the point. This line isn't about booze. It's about the death of the 1960s spirit. 1969 was the year the dream died, and the nightmare took its place. The summer of love was officially over. And what came next? The Manson family murders and the corporate hijacking of the counterculture, where revolution got trademarked and sold back to the kids. So when the captain says, we haven't had that spirit here since 1969, what he's really saying, that hope, that idealism in something pure. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. The flower power faded and something colder moved in. Here on out, the melody stays soft, but the message gets sharper. Mirrors on the ceiling, the pink champagne on ice. We are all just prisoners here of our own device. Says this is about narcissism, addiction, the trap you build yourself, and then pretend it's a penthouse. But if you're deep in the internet rabbit hole, mirrors equal occult tools, portals, surveillance, champagne equals sedation, celebration of submission, prisoners of our own device. That's not just poetic, it's programming. The hotel isn't a metaphor anymore. It's a ritual space, and soft rock never sounded so sinister. In the master's chamber, they gathered for the feast. They stab it with their steely knives, but they just can't kill the beast. Henley has said this was partly a joke directed to Steely Dan, but the rest, it's ritual imagery. Plain and simple. Feast is indulgence. The beast is ego, addiction, fame, or something worse. And now here's where theories go full eyes wide shut. They say the chambers are real, the beast is real, and no one's killing it. They're feeding it. And if you're in the room, you are part of the problem or part of the feast. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Calm, polite, a little terrifying. Now, Henley says this is the ultimate metaphor for addiction, fame, and the American dream gone toxic. Conspiracy theorists, they think it's literal. You checked in, you signed the deal. You checked in when you chose the fantasy. And once you're in, your soul doesn't leave. You might escape the hotel, but the hotel stays in you.
Wow.
So was Hotel California just a smooth 70s radio hit, or a warning hiding in plain sight? The Eagles, they say it's about fame. Fans say it's a blueprint for something much darker. You decide. And if you're into cool backstories, hidden meanings, and love pop culture, be sure to follow along and drop your theories in the comments. And let me know what song you'd like me to cover next. I'll see you in the next one.
This is good. You know, I always felt like Hotel California was about a haunted hotel.
This is the single most powerful thing you can learn in your life. What you need to do is, when you have a feeling, let's say for me, often anger, frustration, irritation, excitement, love, whatever it is, you want to stop yourself and look at it. with a degree of detachment. And you want to say, all right, I'm feeling this anger now in the moment. Where is it coming from? I think it was triggered by what this person said, but maybe it isn't. Let me analyze it. Let me see if perhaps it might have come from a conversation in the morning with my girlfriend or boyfriend, or perhaps it has to do with something that happened a week ago, or maybe it has something to do with some issue in my childhood. Whatever it is, you want that power whenever you feel a strong emotion to be able to step back and analyze and tell yourself, what is it that I'm really feeling in the moment? And look at it perhaps from another angle, almost as if you were looking at it as if you were another person looking inside your own brain, your own body.
You know, if you have inner peace, nothing cannot make you mad or angry.
I'm at the ancient archaeological site of the city of Ephesus. And what we have inscribed from the early church period is our earliest example of the word ichthus, which is the Greek word for fish, but it's actually an ancient Christian acronym. You can see here, these are the letters: Jesus, Jesus; Kai, Christos, Christ; Theta, Theos, God; Huios, which is Son; and then Soter, which is Savior. So it's an ancient Christian acronym. Jesus, Christ, God, Son, Savior. And then beside it is the symbol of a wheel. And the wheel has all the different letters. A Y, a Chi, so Jesus, Christos, Theos, Huios, Soter. And so this was an ancient Christian way of remembering, almost like a theological creed in a word, what and who Jesus was. And then right here, inscribed beside it, is a little picture of a fish. So this is actually the ancient origin of the Jesus.
The history will open the truth. Jesus is real.
I want to talk about how money actually works. The thing that school doesn't teach you. They try and hide it from you, because if you learn this, then you leave the system and you can't be the slave, basically. So what we need to understand is what actually is money. And how does this work, and how do we make money? Because a lot of people talk about wanting to make money, and they talk about, I want to earn an income, I want to make money myself, but they don't understand how it actually works. So money is made when value is created. Now, some of you might have heard this idea before, but the question then becomes, well, what is value? Like, how do I add value or create value? Well, we can go a layer deeper if we use psychology, because value is created when pain is alleviated.
Okay, this is truly alarming. You got China, Iran, Russia, and North Korea all seeming to be in perfect alliance with one another. And one thing that's for certain is that they all have common enemies. All of these countries have common enemies. And one of the common enemies happen to be us, the US. One of the common enemies happens to be us and Israel, which is very interesting because you got Iran trying to get nuclear weapons. You got North Korea and their dictatorship, and you know that their little Kim Jong-un, he's ready to go any other day. We know he is cool with Putin. You have China with the trade wars on the U.S. Remember, the Bible talks about wars and rumors of war, and that is a sign of the end. And all we are seeing in the news headlines is wars and rumors of wars. But the interesting thing here is that Revelation talks about a war, and it talks about the great kings of the East. The great kings of the East. Russia, East. China, East. Iran, Middle East. North Korea, East. The kings of the East. It talks about a 200 million man army. And you might say, well, there's not 200. If you add all of these countries together and you put their people in an army, you put these people in combat, it would probably equal out to 200 million people. And so they're going to march across the Euphrates River and wage war on God's people. That's Israel, and it seems like it's also going to be the U.S. if they don't alliance with each other to take out the U.S. first. Iran is trying to get nuclear weapons. Y'all might think that this is just nothing. I'm telling y'all, I was like, America is not in Bible prophecy. And if it is, it's Mystery Babylon. But if it's not, that means it's not in the Bible, which means when the time of the end comes, America has to be removed. which makes this very interesting, especially with Iran trying to get, and mind you, America is just making enemies with everybody right now. They talking about drone strikes in Mexico. They striked Yemen 70 times. They're into it with China. They're into it with Iran with the nuclear weapons. They have been into it with North Korea, and Trump just threatened Putin. And you got everything else on the sun. You got everything that's happening inside of the U.S. as well. You got us. We're into it with Canada. We're into it with everybody but Israel. It's really us right now versus the world for the most part. That's not a good look. I'm telling y'all, that's not a good look.
America is Mystery Babylon.
Oh my God, I cannot believe this shit, y'all. The feds have released the first official Kitty Diddy victim. And this is the paperwork. Let me break this down. Diddy is cooked forever. Now, it's over. I ain't never seen nothing like this. Now check this out, follow me. So if you remember the other day, there was a hearing that the defense was talking about the superseding indictment. If you remember, the defense was getting a little tricky, but now they are saying the prosecution been tricking and misleading and using a little dirty pool tricks on them. And in so many words, they are saying that the prosecution misled them and deliberately didn't tell them about victims and evidence that they knew they had. See, on April 14th, the government claimed that they were prepared to add in 4 additional victims. Now, these were the victims described in that superseding indictment. Follow me. And now the defense is saying that is false, and they actually were prepared long time ago. We talking months. And that's where the Kitty victim comes from. If you know what I mean by Kitty. See, out of these additional 4 victims that the defense is saying that the prosecution left out on purpose to spring on later, one of them is a Kitty. And it says it right here in the paperwork. Kitty victim. Ooh. Now, also in this letter to the judge from the defense, they claim the prosecution had interviewed some of these alleged victims as early as February 1st. Now, why is the defense saying the prosecution did all this? Glad you asked. Diddy's defense is saying the government intentionally left these 4 victims off of its February 1st Enterprise letter. Y'all remember the Enterprise letter? The Enterprise letter is supposed to detail all the illegal activity that Diddy ran his business with, who helped, workers, and so on and so forth. Now, the defense is also saying that they added this on to strengthen their case because they realized that their case was weak. The defense also said if they really believed in the victims, then they would have had them in the original paperwork. I say all that to say the bottom line is there are at least 7 new victims. 1 and maybe possibly 2 are Kitties. Diddy. I don't see how Diddy gets out of this, but I will tell you one thing. For the very first time, we officially know that there is a Kitty victim, and I don't like it. What if I told you?
Diddy's cooked. Hey, but I think they want us to forget about Epstein, so they give us Diddy. What do you think?
Don't use debit card. Stop. Don't use debit. Don't use debit.
Don't use
the only way to
debit.
get wealthy is with credit. I said, Mom, you need money from the future, and you got to bring it to the present. So don't use debit. I said, Mama, don't you use debit.
I agree with this. I use credit.
Financial literacy game. I know about it.
Well, give us some financial literature right now. Tell us.
I'm going to tell you this. If you want to be rich, don't do no broke shit. It's all in your mind.
See, this is...
If you use it, that means you sell it. If you got a house, don't just sleep in it. Sell a room. If you got a car, don't just drive it. Rent it out.
Look at that.
Feed somebody else for money. Whatever you got, you use, and you keep the extras. Let it stack up to build wealth. Stop playing with it. It's free. It don't cost. But everybody went around paying. What made me so mad is they went around and took the pyramids down, stole the electricity, and then send me an electric bill every month. Stop playing with me. I want my free. Electricity is free.
Well,
Water is free.
When you're in
gas
jail,
is free.
when you're
You
in
gotta go to
jail,
Antarctica.
everything's free.
You gotta go to Antarctica. But they keep blocking me from going to Antarctica. All the people in front of Antarctica stop me from getting through that wall. I gotta go through that wall.
You know, Ang ain't playing about Antarctica.
Barack Obama was made president for 2 reasons. Make the black community safe for homosexuality and go into black Africa and make the resources safe for American corporate exploitation. That was it. He had a gay agenda and he had an African resource agenda. And that was it. That was it. Barack Obama built AFRICOM in Africa, African Command, U.S. military bases strategically placed throughout Africa where the resources are. And now we have a brother, a president in Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, along with President Chiani and President Goita of Niger and Mali, respectively. They have built the Sahel Alliance, trying to make Africa free for African people. And now this House General Michael Langley, who's now the commander of AFRICOM, he's putting out misinformation about Ibrahim Traoré, the #1 Pan-Africanist in the world. I'm #2, but he's #1. And they're putting out misinformation about Ibrahim Traoré, saying that he's using the gold of Burkina Faso, not for the benefit of his people, but for his own personal gain. Nothing could be further from the truth. That brother wears the same kind of clothes every day, eats the same kind of food. He did not accept an increase on his pay when he became president of the country. Extremely humble, just like Thomas Sankara. I believe he might be the reincarnation of the great Pan-Africanist Thomas Sankara, who actually changed the name of that country to Burkina Faso, who was murdered by his own best friend over power. And so what I'm seeing from Ibrahim Traoré and General Goita and General Chiani is exactly where Africa needs to go. Ibrahim Traoré and those other 2 brothers, all 3 of them, the Trinity, they are the most important black men in the world right now, because what they're doing is creating a reality that could potentially reshape how the world operates on behalf of black people in years to come. But they got a lot of enemies. And they even have house negroes in Africa working against them. So we got to keep them brothers, you know, in their prayer. But that Africa that they're going to try to use to overthrow our brothers in the Sahel, that was put there by Barack Obama. He made AFRICOM more popular than it had ever been before.
Obama was a big sellout. Someone called him the destroyer-in-chief. Something like that.
A new pope has been chosen, y'all. As you can see behind me, Pope Leo the 14th. History has been made.
American.
He's the first American pope. But that's not what got people talking. Y'all, listen to this. Now, they say he was chosen fast, a little too fast. And everybody remember how the last pope suddenly passed away from a mix of illnesses, right? Now, here's where it gets strange, y'all. St. Malachi's prophecy that was written in 1100s supposedly listed every pope to come. So they're saying this one is the last one to come. They say the final pope will guide the church during times of fire, tribulation, and destruction. But he won't prevent it. He will just be there when everything go down. His name is Leo, the lion. Revelation talks about a beast that appears that looks like a lion, but talks like a dragon. Do y'all ever wonder why the church has vaults under the Vatican that they never open? Or why so many paintings in there look more demonic instead of divine? Y'all see it. You see the white smoke rolls. You see the crowd cheering. But little do they know, something else probably came inside behind the curtains.
I thought they were saying Francis was the last pope.
Hey everyone, something really strange with these shipping containers is going on again. You've seen all the other videos we've been posting, and this is weird because they're popping up en masse now on both sides. As you can see, all these units, individually marked, said they're Mobile Mini, but they're being guarded at night. And I talked to the stores, none of them know why they're here. They don't belong to the stores, so what are they doing here in our town? And why are messengers coming in saying that everyone is seeing this in their states too? What are they shipping?
Yep, these containers give me an absolute bad vibe.
We're about to break down the Rothschild ball like you've never seen before. I got tons of requests after I post these pictures, so let's get into it. We're gonna go very quick and very deep, so try to keep up. And don't say it. So right at the bat, we see some very obvious things, but the very meaningful symbology is only uncovered by knowledge. So first off, we see this Baal mask. But did you know this whole picture has to do with Baal? Because Baal is literally Moloch and it's literally Baphomet. They're all the same deity. So what was Baal to the Canaanites, to the Templars was Baphomet. But the Templars didn't worship this form of Baphomet that we know. While we do see many images of their worship like this, it actually didn't look like this at all. The form of Baphomet that the Templars worshipped was the form with 4 faces, one on each side of its head. You can also see it's portrayed by this cartooner game with the name of Baphomet, as can be seen again right here. The one you see in the red robe right in front of Baphomet, that's the High Priestess. The High Priestess would be on the side of the east to be worshipped like the sun as the sun was rising. Same thing in all lodges, by the way. So that's why you see him wearing masks all around his face. Then in the background you see someone looks like they're screaming out in hell. Now this one right here has a lot. So again, we see the multiple masks, multiple personalities, also demonic possession and Baphomet. We'll get to the demonic possession in a minute. We also see this egg right here. This is the Orphic egg, or also the cosmic egg, which you can usually see a snake wrapped around it. It quite literally symbolizes the birth of the beast or the beast system or Satan himself and a new beginning. Everything's great. Also, you know, Ishtar and the fertility celebrations, the black and white, you know, duality, checkered floors. And this little beetle right here, would you believe me if I told you it was Satan? Because it really is. In ancient Egypt, they thought the scarab brought the sun, the light bringer. This one's too easy. The lizard, the serpent, the forbidden fruit, and the one-eye symbolism. Come back to the lizard in a minute. What do you see right here besides one-eye symbolism and duality, black and white? It's quite literally Saturn worship, Satan worship, Father Time worship, which is also the black cube, Metatron's cube, etc. The black cube. Now we got this dude with these hands coming out of his head. I wonder why. Out of his mind is demonic possession. So at the 32nd level, they literally get possessed by ascended masters or enlightened beings to make them more powerful. Don't believe me? Go look it up. And this right here gets a little bit freaky. It was an art piece made for this specific ball, but you wanna know what this dude who was into who made this? A guy that used human dolls and merged them with taxidermied creatures. A good reference for that is the parties they do on islands in the middle of the woods in the middle of nowhere. Now this guy's glove, it doesn't look like just leather, it looks more like lizard skin, as does his helmet thing. Then we got the birdcage, which symbolizes oppression, again, demonic possession, and also duality, the seeing of freedom on the outside and bondage on the inside. A lot of these people are trapped, but a lot of them like being trapped. And we're out of time. Let me know if you want part 2.
Wow, this is great video. And you know what? Sadly, the majority of the elites have the same interests as these people do.
The reason why God put polar bears in the Arctic and the snow, because if they lived in Africa, they'd eat elephants. You know what I'm saying? They'd eat lions.
Polar bears are that gnarly?
Fully. The top of his head will be at the same rim of an NBA regulated basketball rim.
No way.
God save us. But I don't know if he can after watching this. Because what I just witnessed was absolutely disgusting. The fact that you've never seen this anywhere else shows that we're already doomed. But you're gonna wanna see this. Because as we all know that Billie Eilish is one of the people that came into the game and did things at such a young age that people would idolize her. We got inspired by her. But what if everything we thought we knew about her was a lie this entire time? And we started to see glimpses of it throughout her career, from the stage performances to the music lyrics, most importantly, the music videos. But we failed to pay attention to the signs, because everything that she stands for was hidden in plain sight. And the naive people, they'll just blow this off, saying that this is perfectly normal, but the real ones understand.
You won't believe this. Billie Eilish manifests a demon live at her concert. Look at this.
Ooh. Oh.
If you don't think demons are real, the devil's not even...